Welcome back, everyone. House Republicans asking the Justice Department now to polygraph test former National Security Advisor Sandy Berger. He had pleaded guilty to stealing classified documents. He got probation, as we all know, some community service. But Berger might not be off the hook after all. Joining us from D.C. is a former investigator for the Committee on Government Reform and Oversight, David Bossie. Hi, David.
Good morning.
All right, so we've been talking about this morning, that apparently in the fine print of Sandy Berger's guilty plea was the fact that he should be giving a polygraph test.
Well, and he should be. The Justice Department has not done that, at least as it's been reported. I don't know why, as when I was the chief investigator for that committee, we would have been leaning very, very hard on the Justice Department to follow through on that. Look, this plea agreement, with or without a polygraph, is a joke. I don't know what the Justice Department was looking at when they crafted this, but Sandy Berger's getting off scot-free. I mean, look, he could be, with this plea agreement, he could be Hillary Clinton's national security advisor if she wins the White House in 2008. I mean, it's just tragic.
David, you've always been a straight shooter. What's going on? What do you think's behind the scenes?
Well, first of all, when the Republicans were in charge of the House of Representatives, in my opinion, and if I had been there, I know that the chairman, Dan Burton, when I worked there, would have been pushing this and pushing the Justice Department, because that's the job of Congress. It's the public's right to know, but also accountability and making sure that the Justice Department would be doing their job and doing it in a timely and efficient manner. Congressman Davis, in my opinion, I think he was waiting and giving deference to the Justice Department, and that's appropriate. But I think that having lost the House of Representatives really leaves Sandy Berger at large, and we'll never know what documents he was destroying to keep from the 9/11 Commission, because that's what this is all about. We don't really know, and never will, unless Sandy Berger, unless new evidence comes to light, what documents Sandy Berger really stole and destroyed.
Well, let me ask you, what's the point of a polygraph test if it doesn't stand up in the court of law?
Well, first of all, they can ask him questions about other documents that they don't necessarily know about. And that's really, Brian, where I think they're trying to go with this particular issue is, what don't we know and what can Sandy Berger provide us with evidence?
Here's the question I don't get. He can't choose not to pay $50,000. He can't choose not to have his security surveillance lifted, and he can't choose probation. He does all those things. How could he choose not to take a polygraph test?
Well, I don't know that he's choosing not to. I think that the Justice Department isn't forcing him to.
How rare is that?
Well, you know, I don't know. I don't know how many national security advisors are caught stealing documents and hiding them under construction trailers or shredding them in their offices. I think this is a ridiculous case. This guy should have had the book thrown at him. I can't believe a federal judge didn't use him as an example and throw the plea bargain out and force this thing to get tougher sanctions. This thing is really, it raises so many questions as what's going on behind the scenes. But I tell you, Lanny Brewer, who is Sandy Berger's attorney, is one of the best in town, and he represented Bill Clinton. I sat across the table from him on many occasions. He was in the White House representing Bill Clinton, and he's doing the same for Sandy Berger now.
Okay, so what has to happen, David, for this polygraph test to take place? The Justice Department has to finally say, hey, we're going to give it to you?
Well, I think the folks in the criminal division are going to have to take a long, hard look at this and the public relations that are coming out. Clearly, if folks like yourself weren't talking about it, they'd be able to not be forced into it. I think that whether or not it happens, we will hear about it over the coming weeks and months. If it ever happens, I hope it comes to light.
So Tom Davis has written a letter, and he's asking that the Justice Department do something. But, you know, the justice has been meted out already. It's too late, isn't it?
No, it's really not, because if that plea bargain was about a set of facts and circumstances that the Justice Department knew about, if, in fact, new evidence can come to light, new charges can be brought, and therefore he could go to trial or stand up to those charges once again. So I think it is important. What Tom Davis is doing is very smart and very important. But I will tell you, now you're in a minority. You don't have subpoena power. You don't have deposition authority. You don't have the ability to call witnesses or demand information from these agencies. Now, it is a Republican administration, so they might be helpful. But unless you have subpoena power and deposition authority, which Chairman Waxman now does, and I don't think he's going to be too keen on calling for an investigation that could embarrass Hillary Clinton.
CitizensUnited.org is David Bossie's website. David, thank you very much for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
You bet.